All right, what is going on, everybody? It's Eric with Morse 4x4 Center, and today we are going to be talking about better understanding Jeep lighting, whether it's headlights or auxiliary lighting. There's a ton of different choices out there, so stay tuned and we're going to go over all the different options to help you better choose the right lights for your Jeep. All right, so as Jeepers, we like options, and when it comes to lighting, there are a ton of options out there available to put on your Jeep. Different headlamps, all those auxiliary lights, you've got halogen, HID, LED, you name it, it is available for your Jeep. So where do you start? Well, the most common upgrade a lot of people make is to upgrade the factory headlamps in their Jeep. Those things are just halogen bulbs from the factory. They do a pretty decent job, but it usually emits like a very yellowish light, not very white, not very bright, doesn't shine very far. So that's usually the first lighting upgrade that a lot of people make, and it's definitely an important one to make as well. Definitely increases visibility and also just a safety aspect as well. People can actually see you coming down the road. All right, so not only just with headlamps, but all auxiliary lighting as well, you're going to have those three main choices: the halogen, HID, which stands for high intensity discharge, and then also LED, which stands for light emitting diode. Now, when it comes to the halogens, basically it's a bulb that actually reflects back onto the back side of the headlamp. There's a big concave reflector back there, and that's what projects the light outwards. Now, you'll see a lot of people upgrade their factory headlamps to HID, and it definitely increases the brightness a ton, but because it's just reflecting back, it spreads the lights everywhere. It's not a focused beam, so not typically a very good choice. You end up blinding a lot of people out on the road, and you do lose a lot of lighting because it's just being dispersed everywhere. It's not very direct and focused. Now, LED lights typically are going to come with a projector that projects the beam out in front with a specific cutoff point. So you're not actually blinding people when you're coming down the road. It's very safe, and that very focused beam is actually much brighter. LEDs run a lot cooler than a HID bulb as well, so definitely one of the better choices out there when it comes to headlights for your Jeep. Now, there's a few different brands that make upgraded headlights for your Jeeps. You're going to have, your standard Hella. Those are actually pretty common for halogen replacements. When it comes to HID, there's not really a lot of companies out there, some reputable companies that make HIDs. You'll usually find those out on eBay. Definitely, I recommend staying away from those. LED is definitely going to be the most common option available for an upgraded headlamp. You've got great companies like JW Speaker. Truck Light also makes them as well, and Oracle's another really good choice as well. Also offerings from KC Highlights too. They make some upgraded headlamps, so definitely check those out. Those are a very great investment for your vehicle. Now, a lot of late model vehicles are also going to come with fog lamps either mounted in or on the bumper or very close to it. They're mounted down low and they shoot a very wide beam. It doesn't shoot very far. It's just made to give you that extra width so you can see directly up in front of you. Again, they're called fog lights for foggy types of situations or dusty. So they don't shine very high because it'll just reflect right back at you and you won't be able to see anything. That's typically what fog lamps are going to be used for. Now, there's a lot of drop-in replacements for the Jeep. Again, JW Speaker, KC Highlights, they make some great LED replacements. You won't really find any halogen upgrades because that type of beam pattern, you're not going to get that much more performance out of those small little fog lamps. So typically just LED is what's going to be used in those situations. Now we're going to move on to auxiliary lighting. So I know you guys have all seen that Wrangler that's got the 50-inch light bar on the top, the cube lights coming up the side pillars, mounted on the front bumper. You got like 6 or 7 along the roof rack rails pointing out to the sides, pointing out to the back, the upgraded LED tail lights with reverse lights in the bumper, upgraded headlights, and the auxiliary lighting is definitely important. You've got to be able to see those parking lines when you're pulling up to your spot at the mall. It's definitely very important that you park exactly in those lines so you're not labeled as a mall crawler. So how do you choose the right lights for parking in those lines? Well, there's quite a few different choices. Basically, the beam patterns you're going to find are a fog, also a driving pattern. There's also a spot pattern as well. You'll find lamps that have fog and driving pattern. Those are called combos. There's definitely a ton of different choices. So if you are picking out fog lights, again, those are going to be shining very wide, not very far. So, and definitely you want to mount those down low on the Jeep. Now for the driving pattern, those are going to be a wider beam, pretty similar to how your headlamps are going to shine. Definitely for higher speed applications, not too fast though. Typically, you know, just normal driving situations, those driving beams are going to be used. The spot pattern, those are a very narrow beam and they shine far down the road. So for you desert guys flying down those trails, you got to be able to see what's coming up, you know, 50, 100 yards down the road so you can have that time to react. That's what the spot pattern is going to be used for. Okay, so next up to bat is going to be the HID system. That again stands for high intensity discharge. So these HID systems, they're actually a little bit more expensive than halogen or LED applications. The system's actually fairly complicated. If we narrow it all down, it basically consists of two main big components. Again, you've got the bulb. Now those are special bulbs. They have a tungsten filament, and then inside they're filled with xenon gas. And then that is connected to a ballast. Now the ballast is what you send power to, and it ramps up the voltage to send power to the bulbs. They are very bright, and they are also very energy efficient. Again, they don't take that much power to run from your vehicle. However, the downside is, again, the system's very expensive, and also they produce a ton of heat. So definitely something to keep in mind there. Now, HIDs were a huge advance from halogen bulbs. They actually have a great long service life as well. But again, with the operating or manufacturing costs, I should say, and then also, you know, that heat, definitely they're a little outdated, especially when we move on to HIDs. Okay, so LED lights. They are not called LED lights. You don't call up anywhere asking for LED lighting. That's a big no-no. Had it happen a few times. It's a little awkward, but it's an acronym that stands for light emitting diode. These lights are super, super tiny. They're a solid state light that are soldered directly to a circuit board. And you know, the reason why you see all these cube lights that are so tiny is because those LEDs don't take up a lot of space and they have a ton of output. They are way brighter than halogen, way brighter than HIDs, and typically they're going to come with a little type of lens or projector in front of them that really focuses and directs the light, so it amplifies it even more. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. This may have been a little long-winded, but there is a lot to go over when it comes to the different lights available for your Jeep, and I know this video might have actually created more questions than it has actually answered. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can feel free to ask them in the comment section below, or even better, give us a call and speak to one of our Jeep experts by calling 1-877-553-5337. Get a human being on the phone. They will go over all the different lighting options available. We've got some awesome guys on my staff that are more than happy to help you out. So we really appreciate you watching this video. Hit that subscribe button right over here. You definitely want to follow us on YouTube and also on Instagram and Facebook. We post tons of content daily that you don't want to miss out. So guys, I want to thank you again. My name is Eric and I'm with Morris 4x4 Center. I hope to see you out on the trail with some brand new lights.